Yo, what's up?
Thank you for tuning in to yet another episode of the Here's the Crack podcast.
If you can follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, help us get into those charts. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button.
And while you're there, leave a lovely comment. Tell us what this podcast means to you. If there's any funny bits, any guests, we'd love to hear about it. Just drop a comment. We're always watching. Let's get into the podcast.
Shane Todd probably came this close to filing a restraining order on me. I'm not even, is that not true? I got a Dole mug made, and I left it for him in the dressing room. Right?
Oh man,
I went to. I got in so much trouble. When making this video, this is the closest I've come to being cancelled. And people say Dole, they don't think of people on benefits. They think of this guy. That's what.
Here's the crack, here's the crack, here's the crack, here's the crack, here's the crack. Welcome back, talking shit, I'm drinking wine, like and subscribe. Here's the crack.
How's it going, people? Welcome back to another episode of the Here's the Crack podcast. I'm looking at that audio to make sure it's working. It is. Today, we have another guest, Daniel Houston. I think
so happy to be here.
And I think we've asked so many. Is that? I'm so happy to be here. We've asked a few times on like sort of stories and stuff. For like, oh, does anybody want any guests on? And you've come up a few times.
Solid.
So
there's someone out there
that watches
burning for this.
they're gonna see this. We're like, oh yes. But. You have an icebreaker, don't you? I was about to jump straight into that first question there, but
yeah, I love the way you have to give it to me as if I'm the only one who can say it. Like.
Yeah, well, this is your thing.
We've started, yeah. Right. Go-to hangover food, or like.
Wait, are you old enough to drink?
I'm just thinking.
I've still got a hangover food. I would
or
say.
Cheap meal. What's your mummy and daddy get you?
This is like. Do you know a toasty maker? Like a toasty, like an actual toasty machine?
Yeah. George Foreman?
Yes. Like the next morning, tobacco, onions, cheese. It's very like, too much of it's sickening, right?
Yeah.
Tobacco, onions, cheese, mayo, barbecue sauce, and a bit of like barbecue chicken. Whack it in the George Foreman. You create like Frankenstein's monster.
I assume you're putting this in bread, yeah?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. On bread.
You missed that part.
Oh, that would be the worst ever.
Comes down like, what have you done to this toasty maker? You demon.
Pizza.
But like they, it's just class.
It's just
like
a concoction
of
things.
Like it's gone quickly, but it's quality.
Do you always have tobacco onions in your fridge? Is that something you keep in your house?
I'll buy them. Like I work in a shop,
right.
so like most times when I finish a shift,
nice.
£3.
Is it Spar?
Centra.
Nice. Do you get a discount in Centra?
I get a 10% discount.
10%?
Actually?
Only in the shop that I work in though, which
what's the point?
Explain to me how that makes sense.
I used to work on Spar and I got no discount.
Did you not?
No.
I wouldn't give
I
you
had a mate that worked in Spar. I thought they got 10% and they got a wee bit of money off you.
Maybe
I don't even think I got discount in Sainsbury's.
Maybe everyone was getting discount bar
you.
They're just like, he's a tramp. No, I think we didn't. I think we did in Sainsbury's got discount.
You're bound to get discount in Sainsbury's, like
the higher level, like top tier
management level.
Store.
But for anybody listening that doesn't know you, who are you?
Big question.
Apart from the fact you work in Centra.
Yeah, I work in Centra, so if anyone comes
pop down and see him in Centra,
just come to every Centra and ask a supervisor if Daniel Houston works in the shop. I do YouTube. I have a podcast called The Dolecast, as in the Northern Irish term for like the Dole.
Yeah.
So I have a podcast called The Dolecast. I have a YouTube channel where I sort of just do videos in anything.
Yeah.
I did a few videos in Belfast. I had a series that I started like years ago called Cooking on the Dole, which I basically threw food around my kitchen, like just making like the worst foods ever. Like it was like Toasties. They were fairly average. Yeah, I should bring it back and do like a big toasty cooking. I think we did like there was one episode. It was fish and chips, and we just walked to a fish and chip shop and got a fish supper and then brought it back. But you know, and then
how many people are watching this content?
Like? Believe it or not, more people than are watching it now. So that makes sense.
Back when you were in your prime.
Could you have created the mukbang inadvertently?
I could have.
Who is the first person to have done that? Like?
Him. We'll just
say
it
was me. And then I was stolen from me.
You should have patented it.
Yeah, you should have patented it.
But yeah, that's pretty much what I do. I just do the podcast pretty much now. Most of what I do is the podcast now.
Yeah. Are you like studying or anything? Because I know that the
I'm
other
still
day
at
we
school.
had a call.
Yeah,
Was it? You're still at
I'm still
school?
at school.
You're not at uni?
No, not yet. No. So
You're not at uni?
no. So
Man,
I'm
what they
What
feed
do you
you?
do?
I know.
What age are you? Well, what have we done here? What age are you?
Yeah, I know. No, I'm still in school, trying to balance them both.
Right.
Not that I'm making any money from like YouTube or anything. But
I definitely thought you were in uni. Here's me ringing you the
Yeah, I
other
thought
day.
you were.
You're probably in like 4th period or something.
Yeah.
Oh my word.
when you rang me the other day, I was in a library studying, and there was no service in the library, and like it was in Jordanstown, and I was just running back and forth trying to get people probably thought I was a madman, like running up and down this long corridor.
Oh, so you're
I was asking random people, like, do you know the best services? So I can get on this call for a
this guy from
podcast.
this podcast is ringing me. Because I was ringing him, I was like, but then every time, it was something really weird happened on my FaceTime the other day, where me and him were FaceTiming, and the next minute we just cut off, and then I rung him back, and then I couldn't get him back again. Then he rung me, and it rang through my iPad, but didn't ring through my phone.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just an absolute disaster. So I was trying to ring you. I was like, I guarantee he's getting this
Oh,
call.
okay, yeah.
I think we'll start off with the YouTube, like.
Mhm.
So like, when did this all start?
What year do you reckon I first did my very first YouTube? 2015. So like 2015, I started YouTube. I've done loads of different things on YouTube.
Was that in primary school then?
Back
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
Seriously?
Like the very, very first probably would have been, end of primary
Oh
school,
my god.
which is mental.
That's like OG
Uh,
YouTube. like.
Came to secondary school, horrendously bullied, but it's just fine. And then, so I've just been doing loads of different things, and then like, it got to the point where it's just like, okay, Daniel, my dad sat me down one day and said, you need to cut this out. You grow up. So then,
There's people coming to the door and
you
punching
need to stop
me in the face.
blaming me for
Yeah.
your YouTube. So, but then one day, a few years ago, I just said, I'm just going to do it again. And I did it strategically enough over like the Christmas break so that I wouldn't receive the slag. Like by the time I got back to school, I'd already posted it a few weeks before. So the slagging wouldn't have been as much as it would have been. I still got slagged, like, but it wasn't as bad. So I started with that and just made Cooking on the Dole, which was the first thing. Just horrendous looking back. Like, it was only like 3 years ago, but you look back and it's like, whoa, this is not great.
Even other things, like there was a girl who put up a story and tagged us in it the other day and was like, found these guys on TikTok, I'm going to be watching like from episode 1, and I was like, yo, please don't do that. Like whenever you look back at episode 1, like it's the three of us standing around like a tiny mic, and we're all just like, so why did you start this podcast? Oh well, we're just like another podcast. And it's horrendous.
Our first podcast sounded like a cat being strangled underwater. It was awful. It was like you would have thought like we like messed the audio up intentionally, but like, and then for ages it was just like a black screen with a logo on it until we moved just before lockdown. We did video podcasts.
So you're only audio up to that?
Pretty much until 2020. Yeah, it was only audio, and then.
And now you wish you'd never started on
I know, and then
started video.
And then like Zoom really helped out during lockdown, so I was able to get loads of guests on.
Yeah.
Like I pestered Shane Todd for a year. This is amazing. Shane Todd probably came this close to filing a restraining order on me. I'm not even, is that not true? He said himself, I was like, one more chance and you were gone.
Really? Why?
Yeah, so like I would ask questions on his podcast every week, like when he come on the Dolecast, every single week consistently, or like, you know, if you had to choose between
Is this like the Patreon podcast?
Yeah, so he used to do one where you could just ask questions freely. So did Call and Get Us, and now Call and Get Us has stopped doing that, and I think it might be because of me, because I just kept asking, because it changed to just no questions. But yeah, I asked Shane like all these different variations of like coming on the podcast, and then one day he was just like, stop asking me this, and then
Did he message you?
No, on the podcast he was like, Daniel, if you do it again, I'm simply not reading it out. And I was like, right, okay, cheers. And then what do you call it? Yeah, so then after this has been going on for ages, he was doing a show in the Mossy Mill Theatre. So I got
cornered him in the dressing
I
room.
I was waiting for him in like a big box and sprang out at him. And I got a Dole mug made.
Mm-hmm.
And I left it for him in the dressing room. Right?
Oh man,
I went to reception. I didn't like Mission Impossible. I went to
like dressed up as like a member of staff and all.
I feel like Hitman, like choking boys out and taking their uniform and everything. No, I went to reception and left it in and was like, can you give this a Shane Todd when he comes in? Probably thought it was a bomb or something. And then, and then he put on his story that night. He was like, just at the theatre at the Mill here, finished my show, and this like strange parcel has been left for me. Don't know what it is. Just someone said it's a gift. It could be someone's like dead human skin or whatever. All this, and he opened it and he raised the mug up to the camera, and I was like, new Facebook profile pic. Shane Todd told my mug, and then apart from the fact that the mug was inverted on the camera, which is just nightmare, but sure. And then pestered him some more, and then one day it came up to like a year of us doing a podcast. And Joel, a great Joel the magician,
Joel the Magic Man.
Magic Man came on, so he agreed to do it. And I think I have a screenshot came up in my Snapchat memories like a few days ago of Joel like agreeing to come on the podcast, and I was like, Shane Todd's gonna stuff his tea up his bum, mate. I've done it. And Joel came on, and then like the day after Joel came on, I was listening to Shane's podcast with Dave Elliott, and he was like, right, come on, we'll come on. And we're like, we'll do it. I was like, no way. So then we had a Zoom meeting with him.
Did you ask him again? And he said, like, was it another question?
I think I said something like, no Dolecast question. Just asked him a question, and I was like, it's the year anniversary of the Dolecast. And then he was like, we'll do it. We'll do it. Come on. I don't know, it was either just a bit of bother or just desperation of maybe if I finally say this, he'll just stop contacting me. So then
you just go on the Zoom call as the PSNI. That's it.
So then we joined the Zoom call. I've never been more nervous in my life before.
Seriously?
Dave Elliott joined first. Was wearing makeup. He had like. So do you ever get when like you see like you don't really know someone and like they come in and like they look kind of rare? Not that I'm calling Dave Elliott rare, but he looked kind of rare. We're just like, and we sort of could both tell like, is he wearing like eyeliner? Like that's a bit weird. And then Shane came in straight away and I was like, Dave, you wearing makeup like straight away? And he was he? Yeah, he I think he was doing a sketch or something earlier and just forgot to take the makeup off.
He does have real dark eyes or something.
Yeah, so like in the podcast you can see like he looks like Heath Ledger's Joker with like all the black eyes.
Oh my God.
But yeah, so they came on, and then just after that with Aaron and Tim on from Dirt Civil, Victoria Angeloni, William Thompson.
Yeah,
I put that podcast out 3 days early and forgot about it, so it got like 10 views, which is good. Yeah. And then from there we just kept going, and like
you do find that though, like posting the like we've got into schedule now, and like the other day I didn't actually tell you about this because Shay pulled off an absolute wonder edit. So we had a podcast sitting, Shay posted it, scheduled it, but it was the wrong one.
Yeah.
So Shay hadn't the other one edited, so we were like, no, like, can you edit that? We were like,
bear in mind, this was fucking 9 o'clock at night.
9 o'clock at night. We were like,
6
listen, mate,
morning.
it's no sweat if you can't. And he was, but it was
I
a
was
sweat.
like, it was no sweat, and Ross was just like, yeah, get that done.
I just said it in a
He's
voice.
like,
I just
"That's
said
the
it in a
wrong
voice. So
one."
I was like, logistically, looking at the time frames, get it done. Shay got it done. I woke up, and it was as if like I messaged Thomas, and I goes, it's like a sixth sense because I woke up at like 6:05, and we scheduled the podcast audio for 6. And I went on. You scheduled it for 6 p.m. and I immediately went, oh, there's 40 listens down there. And then I went on and I like rescheduled it again. Then went back on. I'm not even joking. Like 20 minutes later, and it was like 60 odd listens. I was like, oh right, okay. Like people must actually be. So I'd be tempted to like post it at 10 just to see.
Yeah. People have alarms and all set for coming out.
People
There
have
was-
our wee jingles.
I had a similar story, and then I was meant to post. I did a Christmas Eve episode, or not a Christmas, a podcast episode. This was the worst night of my life. I did a Christmas Eve. It was a charity episode of the podcast. So Shane came back on again, Joel came back on again, and Vittorio came back on again.
Did you live stream this?
No, I recorded them in 3 separate locations. I don't know what I didn't mean to, but I just ended up in 3 different locations in my house, and then just pieced them all together. So they're all like 20 minutes each, and one big hour-long podcast. So it came to Christmas Eve. I was going to upload it on like 12 o'clock on Christmas Eve. Just didn't, like whatever software I was using just stopped working, and like I was full Scrooge that night. Like I was,
yeah.
what it was early hours in the morning. Like it was early hours in the morning before that thing was sorted. I think I was nearly out to bed in tears that night. Like, it was awful.
See, they don't have me out like that.
No,
Just no. We do have me on there.
just get on with it.
Watch your mouth out.
No,
Go ahead.
One thing, when you see, like, you're obviously saying about like getting abuse in school, but like when you like started getting like the likes of Shane Todd on and like big guests and stuff, did you sort of get a few people in school being like, oh
like,
well,
yeah,
nope.
You definitely saw like
All the girls were rushing up to you.
You know Shane Todd?
still are. No, that's a joke. Certainly not. But like, yeah, you noticed like when I put up like he's coming on asking a question. Like you could like there was a certain amount of like people didn't, like people thought I was joking. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like it's not like he's Kevin Hart. Do you know what I mean? But like he's you know he's really well known. So when he actually did come on, I was like class. And you'd people like that would have taken a mick out of you for it, texting you and be like that's kind of cool, or like commenting like fair enough. So yeah, no, you definitely noticed that like.
How long did that last for until the bullying?
Probably an hour. And that's being generous.
Yeah.
Because
then you forget you're in high school in
yeah.
Northern Ireland and people automatically forget. Like.
Brutal.
Yeah.
It's brutal. Yeah. But
What about like did people even? I think the worst thing about that was you started when you were in primary school.
Yeah.
So like whenever you're going into first year, like that's whenever like you're already number one target, like because you're walking in fresh uniform, like.
Yeah. Oh.
And
horrific.
you know. Did anybody see you and be like, "There's that wee boy from YouTube"?
Yeah, the people like in the years above me, like would be like, "There's that wee kid doing his YouTube and everything." Like, yeah, it was horrendous. Like, thankfully now, like, there's positives and negatives, and that people have went, "Oh, who cares if he doesn't know?" But then there's also people like, "Who cares at all?" and just don't watch it. So, you know, I'd almost appreciate a bit of slagging if people are gonna watch it.
Yeah.
But no, like, most of it's gone.
Yeah.
I'm not being bullied. This is not call for help.
Stop bullying him. The YouTube videos that you kind of done, I think the first time I had actually saw anything that you'd done was, I think it was a TikTok or an Instagram clip or something you put up where you were like approaching people outside Victoria Square. So I remember saying that, and I think it was our group chat, I went, fair play to him. Like, was it?
Like, I got in so much trouble. When making this video, this is the closest I've come to being cancelled, like an international celebrity. I'm not even joking. Like, there's people messaging me on Instagram, and I thought, I'll not be able to get a job. Forget Centre, mate. I'll not be able to get a job.
Centre sacked straight away.
Centre, the John Musgrave, the CEO, is sitting there like, nah. But so I made a trailer for it. The video was called The Cultures of Belfast. It was like 10 minutes long. I made like a wee 2-minute trailer and put it on my Instagram. So I asked, do you ever see those like people like singing hymns and like preaching in town?
Yeah.
So I went up to one of them like as they were singing. I was like, oh, great singing, like trying to get something out of them. And she was just looked at me and was like, no. So I walked off and I said in the camera like, oh, she was having none of it. And then when I went up to this person and said, you look like a dog, pretty much, with her chain around her neck, I said, oh, you look like you want to be taken out for a walk. And then left, and then put out the trailer. But when I was putting out the trailer, like I like clipped a bit of the woman of me going, oh, she was having none of it, and the girl saying, or the person saying dog together, as if like it was her that said that. Turns out the dog person was a boy, right? Who was a girl, not a boy. And the trailer for this, when I put it on my Instagram, a lot of people saw it, including they saw it. Their friend, so careful. Their friends, they saw it. Put it this way, they saw it.
It seems like a disaster.
And we got, what was the abuse? He
Seriously?
piped in. Remember at one stage you were like,
I piped in to defend him because he wasn't in the wrong for once.
I had no idea. Like, obviously, I don't walk up and be like, can I just check before I slag you off here?
No,
you
fair.
know?
But
So
how were you meant to know? Like?
exactly, you know, wear a name badge. So yeah, they weren't happy.
But you hadn't misgendered them or anything.
No, I hadn't. It was just completely
Yeah.
coincidental. And then, I got dog abuse
What
for
were
that.
people saying?
Oh, like death threats, like major.
Seriously?
Oh, like
What?
I had people in my DMs call me like all sorts, death threats, like
How many people seen it?
the trailer got
30k, I think, on TikTok.
yeah, the trailer had 30k on TikTok, and then like people resharing to their stories, being like, apart from the misgendering,
But you see, that's why, like, as soon as I seen it,
it gets the clicks. It
and
gets the
yeah,
clicks.
see, I seen it, but like from it,
Mhm.
then because I originally said to you was the female,
Mhm.
but I didn't see the full clip. If
Yeah,
that
yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah,
So like,
so
I
you
think
can't even.
you've kind of like
So then,
people have kind of taken it a wee bit.
No, there's plenty of people that were like, "This is class," like
Yeah.
blah blah blah. But then like like I can't remember some of the stuff that was said to me. It was just horrific, and like you have to be like, it's funny. At least I know when it comes out, you're all gonna watch it, so you can like pick it all apart. And like there's people like putting on Instagram stories and like, apart from the misgendering, this looks pretty good. And I was like, I actually haven't done it deliberately, like.
Yeah.
But I've been more careful since then.
Yeah.
And then I tried to do another one, and just no one did it. Like
Yeah.
I went into town, like that's the issue with like going into town.
Was that like the biggest time you've ever?
That was that. I did a guide to Belfast and the cultures of Belfast, and those two are like the highest. Like
Yeah.
like
Was
they've
that
done well.
was that the time though that you probably came close to being like,
Oh.
no, I'm not doing this anymore. It ain't worth it.
There was, in many ways, I was sort of like, I love this. This is class, because everyone's saying it and they're all like, oh, this is good. Like, and like people were recognizing it was funny, and I was like, that's good. Because like obviously at the end of the day, like the only thing I wanted to do was to make it funny, and like there was a guy on it, and like I was also having like no one side like give a say either. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there was like people that would like hurl dog abuse at each other like in town, and I was
Yeah.
interviewing both of them, but like I wasn't allowing them to like say anything major to like push anything. I was just sort of getting the funniest bits,
Yeah. And now
Pretty wild.
from this, well, I don't know if you could call YouTube the small screen or the big screen, you've made an appearance. How long did that last for? Because I think
Derry Girls,
yeah.
like 2 seconds.
How long were you there for filming it?
In total hours, 24 straight working hours.
Seriously?
The whole day?
Like it's 2 12-hour days, yeah.
Alright.
Nine
I
in the
thought you
morning.
were there for 24
Oh
hours.
no,
non-stop.
You're
not going
overnight, overnight challenge on the Derry Girls set.
Yeah.
I would have been a whipper YouTube video. But like, yeah, so 2 12-hour days, 9 at night, and then the second day they made me do overtime, so it was like the half 10. I think I broke my NDA for it, like probably before I left the school that I was recording in. I told everybody. I was like,
How could you not?
no, they're not gonna find me. Well, they probably could, but like, I don't care. The reason they made me stay overtime was because, do you know the episode have you seen it, Derry Girls?
Yeah.
The mum episode.
Yeah.
The episode the mum's in it, and the bit where the granda drops off the girls in the car.
Yeah.
I was made to walk behind the car, and I remember saying to this complete rare guy beside me, like you find rare people like when you're working there, and like this guy was paired up beside me, and I thought he was my age. I went, "What age are you?" And he went, 29, and I went, "Oh, you're a weirdo, mate. You're a moonbeam, mate." Talking about like, and like he was talking like if he's listening, sorry, but like he was talking like a wee bit of like an American tinge and everything. I was like, "Mate, you're
maybe like a gamer or something.
Yeah. I think he told me he streams on Twitch, and I was like, "Mate,
Yeah.
come on."
Come on.
Who's doing the bullying now?
I'd rather.
Saw your opportunity.
And then the granda came out just smoking a wee GPS, and he was standing there, and I was like starstruck,
Yeah.
and I went, "Hi," and he was like, "Alright, kid." I was like, "How are you?" And he was like, "It's 10:30 at night, and I'm sitting here in 70s clothes, and like
Yeah.
he's having to listen to you, so great." And they made me put like these like big socks over my shoes, so like it wouldn't make any noise and everything. And like some guy screamed at us at one stage because we made too much noise, and he was like, "Guys, please stop talking," and all that stuff. But like, no, overall it was a class experience.
How'd you get roped into doing it?
They just contacted me and were like, it's like a website.
Uh-huh.
And they contacted me and were like, "Are you free? Can we send us a picture of your hair? Like what you look like now? Would you fit into the scene?" And all that stuff.
A picture of your hair?
Yeah.
Well, they
so-
asked you,
what?
did you just give them this?
Yes, I was
Sounds like
me
you-
taking a selfie like this. Honestly,
The ultimate way to get groomed.
I'm not even joking. You send me a photo.
Do you want to be a
You'll
Derry
be-
Girl? Set as a picture.
Do you want to be in Derry Girls? Just take a wee photo for me, okay? And they just I sent off a wee photo of my hair like this, and they're like, "Yeah, you'll do."
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You tick the box.
2 12-hour days, thanks. And did that, and like you get treated like luxury.
Do you
Like, it
actually?
was a 24-hour like tea and coffee stand. I took so much advantage of that. Like the person asked me for the photo of my hair as well. Like I had like pre-made sandwiches, tea, coffee. You got your breakfast, lunch, and dinner. dinner was a bit.
You sound like a typical Northern Irish person. Like no person from Northern Ireland. You just say, "Aye, sure."
Can I take this home?
Like,
can you put that in a wee box for me?
Like, the dinner was a bit rank, but I'm saying nothing. And they give you like dessert and everything. And one of the desserts was bread pudding.
Oh, fuck that.
You would have been better serving me just plain air, mate. I would have enjoyed it more. It was a bit like raisins and everything. I was like, no, went in the bin fairly quickly. Straight up
your game.
It was wick.
No wonder
It was wick.
Yeah.
But there's bacon baps in the morning, which is good.
Nice.
Yeah, and then all these like middle-aged women like measure you and like get you clothes and everything, and like hair and makeup. You know, like I looked spare, like with your hair all coming over the side and everything.
Did you say you were running for like 2 seconds?
Yeah, so like
there's like a split second.
Yeah,
of you
so
like,
you're-
well, I didn't even know that was you until I seen it on your Instagram story. I was like, oh,
so
but
like I was there. There was a bit. They must have cut it out, but the shot's still in it where like you see all the boys like that I'm sitting on the bench with, and the girls say like they're so bogging or they're so stinking or something, like looking at us, and I was like, that's class. My 15 seconds of fame on TV will be the Derry Girls calling me stinking, and then but for whatever reason they just showed this one shot of me. My Oscar-worthy performance is, you know, Catholic boy number 4 in Derry Girls. And
is that what they live?
no, I made myself a full backstory and everything, like, because I walked in, because
You played the character.
I full head cannon, like he's been through so much trauma and everything, and like this dance is saving him. Like I had it all in my head. And then like Tommy Tiernan walked in, the dad, at one stage.
Who are you talking to him?
I wish. And he walked in, and I was sort of like, it's Tommy Tiernan, and I like the rare guy beside me looked like Ron Weasley. He did, like so close to him, like so close to him. I was like, whoa. Thought he was gonna cast a spell on me at one stage. And Tommy Tiernan came in to speak to one of the nuns or something, and then like walked past me, and like I was like, whoa, that's Tommy Tiernan. Sort of gave like a wee wave, and he sort of like, hi you. Walked on, but like it was.
Was he like, oh, you're Shane Todd?
Yeah. Oh, did you do the Dolecast? Did you? Did you say that person needed a dog collar on their neck? That's you. But yeah, no, Derry Girls was cool. Like it was cool. Like,
is it worth your time? Like,
Yeah.
was it worth taking 2 days off?
I paid a wee bit of bucks.
Like,
What's the money like?
What's
Can you say?
money
that?
like?
I don't care if I say it was 255. I think I got for 2 12-hour days.
Fuck.
Which is like,
255
and like you do nothing. Like if people doing uni work, I edited a podcast. Like
Seriously?
you get put into this like, what do they call it? Like the containment room or something. And then they just let you just do whatever until they need you, and then you travel to set. And you walk like 10 meters to the big assembly hall, and then you
So
film.
do they put you up and all, or do you have to get like left there?
We had me. So it was me and a mate of mine did it, and we drove there, and then like that, like it's so it's so official. Obviously it has to be, but like you're in, and because it was like right for COVID, like you had to go in, you had to test. Like when you got in there, they brought you to a room, you tested, you sat in another room. When your test was clear, you then got taken to another room, and then you were just like, go crazy. That's you guys until like lunchtime.
Yeah.
You know, you do nothing.
Yeah.
How long ago was it that you recorded?
October. So it was October. It was near the end of October, and then didn't come out until like 2 weeks ago. But yeah, it was class. I loved it. Didn't get to meet any of the actual like official.
Yeah,
girls,
that's what I was gonna say.
which
Like
is
the
kinda
episode,
novel.
yeah.
They cut out like me and Michelle's kiss, which was. I told everybody that, and then someone asked me, they're like, "Are you serious?" I was like, "Obviously not. She's like 30 mate."
You're just like, it wasn't on
wouldn't be
camera.
legal. But yeah, no, it was
Were
class.
you going in looking for them? Or were you like,
I was fully like, yeah. I obviously met like the younger versions of the mums,
yeah,
which were there, but I didn't meet any of the actual Derry Girls. But I met the granda,
yeah. Well, that's
you
it. And Tommy Tiernan.
Tommy Tiernan, starstruck at Tommy Tiernan. You know,
That's class.
there was nearly a clean up on my bench when he walked past me.
But you were saying to us the other day, like obviously, like you're kind of in with the comedian side of everything from doing all your stuff. Like it's you one there.
I'm playing the Odyssey soon.
Yeah. The event. You said you got a film or something planned.
Yeah.
What's the crack with it? Like?
So
Explain.
again in my life kicked off in 2020 apparently. In 2020, like I just wrote a script for a film one night. Not one night, didn't take me one night, it took me weeks. But like I wrote this entire like feature film script and was like, I just want to make this. It's about 2 members of the PSNI who, when there's murders, it's like a comedy, when there's murders on Halloween night, they have to go after them. But like I wanted to put as many like people from Northern Ireland in it. So like there's a chief of police, so like William Thompson, he's agreed to be one of the police officers in it for a few scenes. And like I approached Kieran Bartlett, Bunter, to do it, and he asked me he asked to read the script, and I sent him the script, and he said it was good, but he couldn't do it. And I went, class. So I can now say that he wasn't in it because of scheduling conflicts. So I need to find someone else. I went towards Dave Elliott if he doesn't wear makeup, and then do you know Paddy Roth? Yeah. So him is Nigel in it to like report like a phone call and everything of like of the killer in a house, and he's like reporting it and stuff. So like we're planning to make it part of it this summer. I wanted to release it this October, but someone said it's not possible. Won't get it.
Are you like his manager?
This guy owns my life. I'm not even joking. Every decision I've ever made goes through him. I'm not even joking. There's so many times where like we've done a podcast and I said that was good, and he goes, "There's about 5 things we need to cut out of that because we'll go to jail." You know.
Yeah.
So like
that's me. That's me. Me and you go on, man. That's me. I question every life decision. Though.
Yeah, because and like there are some times where I'm like, yeah, you just simply can't say that because you know. That's just awful. That's horrific. And if I ever did we've talked about doing a live like podcast stream to YouTube. Oh, he would have his eyes on me like a hawk the whole time, like making sure I didn't say anything.
Electric buzzer and all.
Yeah, just kicking him under the table.
But like,
yeah.
But yeah. So hoping to record some of it. Most of it over the summer and then release it next year.
Is it just you doing this, or like do you have any like funding or
it's
anything for it, or
us.
are you just like
we've loads of money. We've a section of money saved up for it to make it.
And how are you like shooting it and all?
So he's got a good quality camera.
Not as good as them, but filmmaking's what I want to do for career and stuff. So
Oh yeah.
I'll be directing it, you've written it, and we'll both be acting on it. But it's all the equipment sort of from ourselves. It's not.
I suppose I self-funded, like yeah.
We're the BBC talking about the BBC comedy.
Oh.
That's what it is, a test.
If you want.
What we're doing.
So you are sending it in to
So
somewhere.
we had the 2 characters of the police officers for BBC comedy, for the BBC New Comedy Awards.
Yeah.
We have to send 3-minute sketch in, so we're sending a 3-minute like different sketch we've written based on those 2 characters. If you want a clip, here's a clip. I had a massive nightmare with the BBC New Comedy Awards last year. like William.
Yeah.
He came second, I think, in New Comedy Awards, and he like one of the reviews said like he had barely noticeable cerebral palsy, which I thought was completely unfair. But yeah,
Clearly see it.
Oh my God.
It's all love, William. Me and William got on really well. me and William played PlayStation once, good. Yeah, so I read the rules of the website, and it basically said if you're a new comedian at all, just like record yourself and send it in.
Yeah.
So big man gets
You're
the tripod.
a big fan of recording yourself and sending it to people, like
anybody that asks you to, the tripod goes up, and so yeah, big man got the tripod out, set the camera up, and just spoke into the camera. Sent like 3 minutes but obviously there's no one in the room, so like I'm saying jokes and like no one is reacting to them. I'm going, what about that? And everyone's and then I sent it off. And I thought, I told you, I was like, could you imagine, like, the winning prize is, like, if you get through the next round, you go to London and you do it in London and everything. William came second. William's been doing comedy for probably over a decade. I recorded a 3-minute video in my bedroom and sent it off and was like, there you go. And obviously, like, we all entered into the same category, which means there will be people seeing actual, like, people watch, like, judging this will see actual people, like, audience laughing, and then there's Daniel Houston in his bedroom going, and no one's reacting to it. And the fact that it's somewhere scares me slightly because it's just me talking to myself.
Surely that in itself is just fucking hilarious.
I'm sure it will be, and like I'd love to actually like add a wee like laugh track.
Imagine they're all
like
sitting in a room for like 12 hours watching this stuff, and then this one guy comes in and goes, "Boys, I've got an absolute
this guy
class one."
This guy's sitting in front of his chest of drawers, just telling us jokes. This guy's telling us duvet jokes.
Up the stairs saying dinner's ready.
And like Shane, I think Shane had some connection in it, whether it was like hosting it or judging it or something. And I said to him like, I've entered, and he was like, class. And I was like, and I just pray he hasn't seen it. It's brutal.
He's like seen a man's fucking
it's
shit.
Awful. It's literally just.
What were you hoping to get out of it?
I was hoping for them to go, okay, what if we put him in front of an actual audience and then we'll move him through the next round? But
do you want to be a comedian?
I'd love to. I'd love to do it in some form.
Yeah.
But like, I haven't done it yet, obviously.
What is it you're studying?
Moving image media.
Aye.
So like, I'm doing that, and then I'll hopefully go on to do that in uni as well.
Would you not like try and enter one of them like comedy gigs or whatever that they just let you up on like an open mic night?
Yeah, I definitely like. So like,
I can see you sitting down in the crowd. Oh my,
there,
this will be your worst nightmare.
My teleprompter above him and everything. I start on a joke. So what about he's just sitting there like, stop please. But yeah, I remember speaking to Shane about it, and he was like, when you're when you're of age, because I actually can't legally do it yet. So they're like, when you're ready, you can go to the pavilion and we'll get you in an open mic and stuff. So I'd like when that time comes, I'll be knocking on Shane Todd's door yet again.
You seen that? Like, I've built up a good relationship with people like that though. Like,
well, yeah,
over the years.
Yeah, and like Joel as well. Like, we went to do 2 years ago. Colin Gaddis, I don't think likes me. He called me a mentalist.
Like genuinely, or joking?
Like, he called me a mentalist. I remember asking him. I tried the same sort of tactic with the whole thing I did with Shane. Like, when are you gonna come to the Dolecast? And I think I said like he just had his child or something, like his baby. And I think the question I sent in was like, when are you gonna show the baby the Dolecast? And he just replied and was like, mate, you're a mentalist. What do you think I have time for? And just boom, straight away gone. I was like, well, I'm not touching that again. And then one day I texted him. I was like, oh, here, mate. What mics do you use? Just left me an open. But no, he's hilarious. I like him a lot. But yeah, I think you sort of have to as well, in that, like Joel and like Shane, like if you want to get in that sort of business, you gotta. We were gonna do videos with Joel at one stage, but then it just fell through. Yeah. I don't know. Second lockdown. Yeah, literally lockdown happened, and he just couldn't. Yeah. We were ready to go, and it just stopped. But yeah, just trying our best to like keep going with it, because like that's like, it's the hardest thing to just keep pushing through with it. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Because you get very easy stuff.
Doing well, like
no. Well, like I think the issue is like all the older podcasts buying views, but then when it comes to like the newer ones, you can see the quality is getting better on them, like camera angles, mics, but like there's just no interest. Like there's not as much interest as there was. So like that's why like I see you guys like posting the clips on TikTok. Like I'm starting to do that as well. Like, because you just need to. I spoke to Ged about it, and he was like, "Yeah, you just need to post TikToks and clips, because that's the only way you're gonna get views." So yeah, just trying to push through with that.
Fuck, you get around. You spoke to everyone.
I know. Hey, anybody with like over 1,000 followers, I've been at their door.
Have you ever got like anyone proper just tell you to fuck off? Then?
Oh, probably the closest was Colin Gaddis. Yes, there's a few people that like I've this sounds awful, where like I've pretty much like planned the podcast with them, and then yeah mate, I'll send you a date, and just went nah, forget about it. Like I'm not saying his name because he's a comedian, but I just looked at his message and went, yeah, I'll send you a date, mate. Just thought, nah, I'll not be doing that. Yeah. Just because I don't know him. I don't know enough. I don't know enough about him. It'd just be like doing it for the sake of doing it. But like, you just gotta, like, one of the nicest people. But like, there's people you meet now that I would genuinely be able to just hold a conversation. Like Vittorio Angelini, I don't know if you guys know who that is, but he's a comedian from here. He was in the paper like 2 years ago for doing like his back garden like comedy club. Yeah. And yeah, he got IRA and Countdown. He went on the Countdown, and like he told us like I'm doing consonant vowel consonant just in hopes, and it came up, and it went viral, and it's just him in front of his TV going yeah after he gets it. So, and like I chat away to him like chat away to him. I don't speak to him every night before I go to bed, like, but I got a whole conversation. He asked me to send photos of the hair and everything. But yeah, he's a great guy. I also told Aaron and Tim that I would send it, because they're in London now. I told them, here, I'll send you a few like Dole mugs over, and Tim was like, yeah, here you go, here's the address. Just never did it.
Bang, you show up the door one day.
Hi guys. Bang, I show up at the door.
But apart from like the kind of like obviously with the YouTube videos and stuff, was that incident that you described earlier on, was that the worst one, or was there a few other? Because I don't know how people do all that public stuff. Like,
well, we did literally talking on the way over here. We talked about, should we try it again? Everything I say is making me sound so dodgy. I walked about town with a bag of goodies, pretty much. I was like, take one. I did a game show. What did I call it? Dole or No Dole, right?
Is everything just called Dole?
Everything. It's the brand. Like, and like, it is the brand. Like, you have to try and like
stay true to your.
You have to stay true to yourself. And like, I'm not on benefits, but like,
you haven't been contacted by the government or anything. They're like, nah, mate, you can't do that.
But I'm hoping to get to the stage where like
HMRC or what we do a podcast. So we need to talk about this name.
The stage I want to get to is when people say Dole, they don't think of people on benefits. They think of this guy. That's the stage I want to be at. I'm in the Dole.
Maybe
Daniel Houston. Yeah.
Get sponsored by them.
Yeah.
This podcast is sponsored by HMRC.
Send me a bit of cash. I actually contacted David from my side in about sponsoring the podcast. But my brand is being on the Dole, and he does a clothing for the homeless, so I can understand why he didn't take up on that business venture.
Conflict of interest there.
I welcome to the Dolecast. Also, go buy for the homeless. You know, it doesn't really sell as well. But yeah, I went to the town one day with like, we went into the Poundland, and I just bought like all the way like £1 pack of the sweets, and like opened them up, put them in this big like Tesco bag, and walked about, and had like you know the wee like plaques like Ant and Deck would hold up like when they're reading something off, like a wee plaque and like a talent show or a game show or something. I was walking about with questions on it, just completely random questions. I think one of them was like, you know, list the Kardashians and like age. Walked up to someone like, and like if you were someone in Belfast, you'd probably be scared. Like, this kid's walking up to you with a bag of goodies, like caught in his hand.
So fine you call it goodies.
Answer
as well.
a question. Daniel's bag of mysteries. Stick your hand in. And, I walked up and was like, lads, and like it's a hard sell as a pitch. Do you want to like answer a question, and if you get it right, you can put your hand in my bag? Nah, mate, I'm good. So like, I think we had 2 people do it that day, and I think it was people we already knew. And we were like, yeah, sure, I know he's not actually dodgy. So, and then I just went home on the bus with a bag of goodies and nothing to show for it, no footage. And like there's times when you like see people like from a school perspective, like of it, like rival schools where you see like groups of boys from other schools that you know, and like that day I looked up and like big group of lads, like proper lads from another school, and I'm sitting there with like a Tesco bag in my hand, big Dole sign, like cameras and everything, and I'm going, oh, this is the worst ever. And like I was like, Daniel, this is how you get bullied, like
this is how it all starts.
This is how it starts. But that's the worst. That's probably the worst, and that we made a full day of it, like hyping ourselves up in the bus in, like it's gonna be great, like everyone's gonna want to play this game show. No one wanted to stick their hands in my bag, so in my bag. So yeah, that's probably the worst experience I've ever had.
Would you say you're would you say you think things through? Like, are you a critical thinker?
That's why I've got him. You know, I have an idea, and I go, this could be good, and then in practicality, I go, this is awful. Yeah. This is so wick. Why would you ever like there's stuff
if you ever approached me and said, you know what we're going to do for a video, head into town and get people to answer questions and then reach into my bag of goodies, I'd be like, you're on meth.
Because do you know the way like Lab Bible do it?
I don't know, but
I thought I'd be just like him.
We've talked up about that before. I've always said I'd be class just to go in even after like nights out and stuff. Like if one's outside pubs, but like I don't think
a bag of gear.
I need a bag.
Stick your hand in, see what you get.
It's a big bag of flour. But like I don't know if I could do it. I'd be so worried as well. Like, you know, the ones who do it like after like outside bars and all, and everyone's full. Like,
getting a fight
you
on
get
enough,
one
like,
by just like you taking the piss out of me, you know, and you're like, no.
Oh, aye.
And like, seen that
Exactly right.
video the other day that your boy done, and he came up to like the 3 mums or the 3 like older women and all. I think I sent it in our group chat.
Oh my god!
And the filth that came out of
Oh,
their
was
mouths.
vulgar?
Oh,
Really?
like if I was on TikTok and I was like, there's my mum, that's so
Oh,
cool.
What's the name here? Is he
He's from
from?
Derry, isn't he?
He's like,
He sounds like he's from up my way.
Does it?
Yeah.
He sounds like he's from
Maybe
up
he's
Ballymena
Ballymena.
he
direction.
does, yeah.
But,
He started doing the videos around Ballymena.
Yeah, like he just asked people, is it what's your biggest dick, or like, but he does it in quite a funny way, like where it's like.
I think he's quite good.
But
at
then he'd ask these 3 like older women.
he's asked him about Marge. He's like, like something about Mars, and they all just started
What's the
talking
key to
about their
happy
vaginas
Mars?
and all
Yeah.
this, and sex. And
Yeah.
Dirty
and you're
bastards.
like, you're someone's mom. Could you
And
imagine?
he's just standing there going like, you can imagine him just standing there going, clip.
Yeah,
clip.
oh, all the time. When you go in like to make a video, content's on the brain. Like
Yeah.
you're just thinking, what can I squeeze out of this?
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean?
They were for fucking squeezing some
Yeah.
shit. So they were.
There's nothing else I think we wanted to kind of ask you. I know like so many people had like, well, not say so many people, like maybe like a good few had like messaged and been like, you should get your boy Daniel Houston on. So we were like, yeah. And then we seen you were on Derry Girls, and we were like, what the heck is happening?
It's time.
Yeah.
Now's our chance.
Derry Girls did not phone us. Like. We were asked to be on a game show not too long ago.
Serious?
Yeah, we were asked to be on.
I
It
think that was
dodgy,
just a generic thing.
Yeah,
Did he,
that
did he ask you for a photo of yourself when you went on?
No.
It was a video they were looking.
They were. We got this
together.
email, and it was like, and then I asked her for more information, and it basically meant we had to like it was like 3 weeks off work, but it was like we had to go to some island or something in Scotland, and it was
I
like
don't think
It's called the
it
Hunger Games. The
definitely
video
was,
was
it definitely
it's a game
was
show.
like, but it was basically along the lines of like you had to like there was like a person in your group, you had to complete all these tasks, but there was one person in the group that was a sabotager, and you had to try and identify who the sabotager was.
yeah.
I think that was along the lines of, and we were like, oh, lads, we're pure class. Like, we were going to be famous.
Uh-huh.
And then we emailed us, like, oh, you have to take 3 weeks off work. We're like, no, because we can't afford
Were you on the
that.
island for the 3 weeks? Not that you went, but like, would you have been on the island for the 3 weeks?
I don't know what game show it, like,
So mad.
I think I go, are you talking about Bear Grylls the island now?
No, like just the game show you on. Is that what it was on? Or have I just made that in my head? And hallucinated?
No, like they asked you to like, I don't know whether it was like stay over there, but like,
Okay,
they just
okay.
asked you to come on it.
Oh, right, okay.
If you could go on a game show, what would it be?
We've talked about this before, have we?
I don't know.
A game show? We've talked about a TV show, we haven't talked about a game show.
Okay.
One that you can win loads of money on.
The Cube.
Cube.
Uh,
I'd
Who
love to go on
wants to be a
Cube. Cube looks so
millionaire?
easy. Like.
Who wants to be a millionaire? Probably. My favourite game show would be The Chase, but it would make sense for Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. You can earn more cash that way.
Yeah.
The Chase is hard, like.
The
gotta
chase
think
is
of a
hard.
coin.
Hey, you wouldn't make it past.
And you'd be so raising if your team was shit as well.
Have you seen that new game show? The one that's like 100 people in it, and they'll give you these questions. They're sort of like
100 to 1 or something.
something like that. Yeah.
Lee Max on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fucking. It looks brilliant. I think
It's
we get
good.
it. Like.
Yeah.
That on deck one was good, though.
What
When was that?
No, I think was it something like higher, lower, like
Oh.
limitless. I think it was called.
Yeah.
Do you know what the best game show ever was? Golden Ball. It was called Golden Balls.
Yeah.
Oh, the Splitter Steel. Have you seen that stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, mental.
That is the best ever.
Lives were ruined. On that
Live
show.
were ruined.
I remember seeing that thing on the Who Wants to Be the Millionaire where your doll in the audience was coughing and they scammed them for like the £1 million.
I watched it. Yeah, I watched
Yeah.
an ITV drama about that.
Madness, I saw it. But anyway, we'll end it there. Thank you so much for coming on.
No worries.
And
Thank you.
if people want to listen to your podcast, it's called The Dolecast. And if they see you about Belfast approaching with a microphone in a bag,
Stay away.
run away.
Reach your hand in. See what
pro-
you get.
to get some of Daniel's goodies. But obviously, if you want to go on, you're just Daniel Houston on
Yeah, just
Instagram.
Daniel
Daniel,
Houston on everything.
yeah,
Yeah.
and if you haven't already, go listen to the Dolecast. But thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
All the best.